What is your ideal weight for your height? Have you ever wondered, are you too thin? Are you too tall? Are you too thin, too short? I don't know. So in this video today, you'll find out what your ideal weight is. A lot of people, a lot of professionals, a lot of nutritionists, a lot of doctors rely on something called BMI. Have you ever heard of it? The body mass index is a good parameter. However, I wouldn't advise you to start thinking about it. How do you calculate BMI, Dayan? You take your weight and divide it by your height squared. Weight divided by height squared. The result will give you various parameters. I'm not even going to talk about it here because I don't think it's worth it. Do you know why? Because it's a very crude measure. Two people can have the same body mass index and be completely different. For example, look at this person. Now look at the picture of this other person. Are you going to tell me that these two people have the same body build just because they weigh the same? They can have the same weight because they can have the same body mass index. So the body mass index, I suggest you start forgetting about.
Hey you guys, are you enjoying our content? Why I'm asking this? Because according to our channel analysis, 97% of the people who watch us are not subscribed to the channel. Do you believe this? So I sincerely ask, if you have liked our content, subscribe to our channel. Let's make this content reach everyone around the world and let's make this a healthier world, okay? So subscribe our channel and God bless you.
So it's very important that you understand that people are different. You can't measure one person, one woman, one man. Everyone has their own biochemical and genetic individuality. People have all shapes and sizes, skinny, strong, and stocky. It's important to recognize that everyone is unique, and we can't just define an ideal weight for everyone. So, I want you to start thinking about something called your average weight. If you don't go to the doctor, if you don't go to the nutritionist, start thinking about your average weight. So what is average weight? Average weight is the weight you've been at most during your life. I'll give you an example. I'm not talking about your life as a teenager. Oh, because my average weight, for example, when I was 15 was 68 kilos. Today I weigh 82. So I can't want to take an average and go back to weighing, for example, 75 kilos because I'll be too thin. My life changed, my structure changed. So everything has changed. So I want you to imagine during your adult life, what was your average weight? The weight you like to be at. I'll give you an example. I've weighed 90 kilos and I've also weighed 77. At 77, I was very thin, almost cachectic. At 90 kilos, I was very fat. So the ideal for me is usually around 85. So that's my average weight. So the first tip in the video, don't aim for an ideal weight. Aim for an average weight. The ideal weight is sometimes not real. It's not that. It's not achievable. It's something you have to sacrifice a lot for, suffer because it's not your weight. You're looking for someone else's ideal weight. So, which is better? Now you understand. It's best to analyze your body constitution. Forget about weight. If you take weight as an isolated measure, it's very confusing. Body composition is given by a machine. Of course, many people still do this in the past by taking measurements of the body, measuring and seeing what the fat density is, how thick the skin is. But today we have a resource called bioimpedanciometry. It measures the body's constitution by passing an electric current through the body. Check out the test. This analysis has to be done very carefully. When you go to the doctor, you need to have a bioimpedance test at your first appointment. And from then on, the doctor or nutritionist starts saying, no, we need to do this from now on. And other bioimpedance tests are done over time to assess what is improving, whether lean mass is decreasing, whether fat mass is increasing or not. You have to understand what's increasing, fat, what's decreasing. You have to evaluate because just losing weight doesn't mean anything. You have to know if you're losing weight, but at the expense of fat loss. A lot of people lose weight, especially those on super restrictive diets, but they lose a lot of muscle. That's not losing weight, that's malnutrition. There are even many people who are fat and not fat. They're full of water, accumulated water, retained fluid, and they need a diuretic not to lose weight. It's important to know that muscle weighs more, fat weighs less. But fat takes up more space in your body. That's why there are thinner people with the same weight as fat people. Body composition also measures our metabolism. It tells you if your metabolism is higher, lower, or slower. It's very important. And it's very important in this video that you also know that there are the famous fake thin people, and that person you look at like they're skinny, and that person is skinny, but when you do the bioimpedantiometry test, that person is full of fat. There are skinny friends of mine who weigh a lot less than me, who are fatter than me. You go and look at the person, all they have is fat. Just look at your arm, look at your skin. Pull the skin like this, pull the skin. Oh, is it thin or is it that fat layer that your finger gets? Between one finger and the other, there's that little bit. Similarly, there are also sarcopenic people who have lost a lot of muscle mass. So, excessive thinness and excessive fatness are all bad. Then you say, what's ideal for me? My percentage. Now you've started to say the right thing. The ideal for you as a woman is to have a fat percentage of between 15 and 20%. And a male with body fat between 10 and 20% begins to experience health complications when the body fat surpasses 20%. Women don't have to want to have the same percentage as men. Women will always be a little fatter, not fatter, with more excess fat. And the ideal thing to do when you go for this test is to take off your earrings, jewelry, clothes. All of this interferes. You have to spend 2 hours without drinking liquids, 4 hours without eating anything for the test to be ideal. And it's also interesting to know that 50% of our body, do you know what it is? You can imagine water, especially women's bodies. That's why some women take diuretics to lose weight, and they do. But that's not nice because sometimes it's a mess. She's dehydrating herself. And the good thing about having this analysis of your body constitution is that you know when it's time to lose fat, you know when it's time to increase muscle mass, and you can even do it at the same time. There are people who are losing weight and gaining weight. Did you know that? Because they're losing fat and gaining muscle. If you aren't seeing weight loss despite your efforts in training and dieting, don't panic about your trainer. It's important to remember that weight loss can sometimes be a complex process and might not occur immediately. There are people who train and after 3 months they start to think, I'm not losing weight. Don't worry about that. Body build is much more important. Staring at the scales is a paranoia that will only harm you. It will only lead you to stress, to guilt, to wanting to give up what you're doing. Forget the scales. Do you know how many times I weigh in my life? I think I weigh myself twice a year. So remember, the most important thing is to know what your most frequent weight is, what your ideal weight is, what weight your clothes fit, what weight you feel light, what weight you feel happy at, what is your ideal weight that when you were at it you looked great. For example, I'd love to reach 86 kilos with lots of muscle, but I don't always manage it, so I stay around 83 and that's fine with me. The ideal weight is that sustainable weight that you can maintain without going crazy. And to achieve all these results, there's not much magic aerobic activities. So even this is important. The body constitution test is important for you to know what kind of exercise you're going to do. If you have excess body fat, it is crucial to prioritize aerobic exercise by engaging in at least 30 minutes of vigorous cardiovascular activity daily, ensuring your heart rate reaches peak levels. Once you've lost weight, it's time to focus more on weight training and resistance exercises to increase muscle mass. Another important thing is to start adding energy foods that boost your metabolism, such as cinnamon, ginger, green tea, and matcha. All this will help you lose weight and organize your diet too, of course. A minimum of walking a day helps. Don't expect me to lose weight so I can put on nice clothes to go to the gym. Start with a walk. If you do 50 minutes of walking at least 3 times a week, it helps already. It's good. It's much better to walk than not to run at all, or run for 5 minutes and stick out your tongue. So start by walking, then run. And it's very true, you know that? People frequently inquire if those who train more can consume a larger amount of food. Indeed, you are quite correct. However, if one does not engage in training, this privilege does not apply. And always remember that the diet that makes you lose weight is not the same diet that increases your muscle mass. You have to have a nutritionist, you have to have a doctor with you because you're going to have to adjust this diet. You've lost weight, okay, now change. There are people who stick to the same diet for 6 months, then it dries up and doesn't increase muscle mass. Each phase of your body needs specific guidance. Another thing that I think is a neurosis, people thinking about calories, 20 calories, 50, relax. Try to choose and understand food. Leave that worry to your nutritionist. He studied for it. Let him do your diet. Every diet should start with an analysis of your body constitution. So if you get on the scale and decide what you need to do, that's it. This test, bioimpedance analysis, helps you work out your strategy together with your doctors. That's the ideal. And this will help your personal trainer, your physical education teacher to work out what exercises you're going to do. I'd love to know what your ideal weight is. Write it down in the comments. Are you living at your ideal weight? Are you over or under? I'd love to know. Don't forget to leave a like. Share this video in all your groups for those people who are worried about their weight. Oh, my weight. Share it so they understand that they have to let go of the scale and think more about their body composition. Live healthy, live with passion and with God in your heart.